Hello, you guys. It's GED question of the daytime, and I have got everybody's worst nightmare here. Look at this. We've got the dreaded word problem. Let's take a look and see what we make of it. So it says a car saleswoman makes $12 an hour plus a commission of 1.5% of the cars she sells. She generally works 32 hours each week. Which expression could represent her earnings in a week if her sales are represented by C? So, what are they asking me to do here? Well, that's what I always like to do at first, is to focus on where I'm going. What's my question? What are they asking me to find? So they're asking me which expression. So they'd like me to write an expression. Now, what do they want this expression to represent? And they want which expression could represent her earnings in a week. So how much she makes in a week. Don't move on from a word problem without knowing where you're going. I see a lot of students who just start randomly mushing numbers together. If you don't know where you're going, there's no telling. I just want you to imagine that you just randomly set up from your house wandering in any which direction. You could end up anywhere, okay? So we need to know where we're going before we start. Now, I'll try to figure this out. So let's take a look at the rest of the information that we have if we are writing an expression for how much this woman makes in a week. So I see that she makes $12, but that's not just one $12. She makes $12 an hour. Okay, so that's one of the things she makes in a week. Plus, she makes a commission. And then look at that commission. It's interesting the way they phrase this. It says that she makes a commission of 1.5% of the cars she sells. Probably of the value of the cars she sells, but 1.5% of the money that she makes selling cars. Okay, and then I see that she generally works 32 hours in a week. Which expression could represent her earnings in a week if her car sales or sales are represented by C? Okay. So I'm going to start with the part that's easiest for me to understand, her hourly wage. Commission's a little trickier. So she makes $12 an hour. But that's not just $12. That's $12 for the first hour, and $12 for the second hour, and $12 for the third hour. In fact, she makes 12 hours many, many times. Well, how many times? Well, let's take a look. She's working 32 hours a week, so she's going to make $12 for each one of those 32 hours, or $12 32 times. So I know my expression has to have a 12 multiplying by a 32. So I only see two expressions like that. The other two are not like that, so I'm going to cross them off. So that's the first thing I did. So I can say that she makes $12 an hour for 32 hours, and then I see she makes some more money. So plus what? Now, the foolish student will go right to this. They say, look at that, plus 1.5% of the car sales, so 1.5C. And this foolish student will circle A, but watch out, A is a trick. If you give her 1.5 times C, you're taking the amount she made on cars, and you're not giving her a portion of that. You're giving her 1.5 times it. You're giving her more than she actually sold in the cars. So it's like she sold $100,000 worth of cars. You're going to give her more than that back. You'll give her $150,000. Your dealership's going to go out of business if you give all the salespeople more than the value of the cars that they sold. Where are you getting that extra money? Are you robbing banks? Okay, so what we need to realize here is the way percents work. It says that she makes 1.5% of that C. So I do agree with you that these two things need to multiply, because of does mean multiply. However, what does percent mean? Percent literally means out of 100. Percent means out of or divided by 100. Before you can use a percent, you have got to divide it by 100. And so my quick, lazy way to do that, and you could do it in your calculator if you don't believe me, is to move decimal places once, twice. And I see that a 1.5% is the same as 0.015. 0.015. She's only getting a portion of the cars she sold, or of the dollars in car sales that she made, not the whole thing plus even more back. That would be ridiculous. Okay, and so B is the correct answer. Tricky, tricky. I'm going to just read it to you one more time. I want you to see how this B expression says exactly what that says up there. This says she's making $12 an hour for 32 hours plus 15% of the car sales that she does, or her dollar sales in cars. Okay, great. So B is the correct answer. Hope that makes sense to you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions.